Hey, it's John Terry with Vision Advisors, and welcome to this Insight with Vision. I want to pose the question in this episode, who's retiring early that you need to know? If you've ever been surfing, you paddle out into the bay and you wait for a wave to come, and then you quickly paddle to get on top of the wave and get up on your board and ride the wave into the beach. If you're not aware of where the waves are coming or where the water and the wind are moving, and you miss the opportunity to get on the wave, you miss the opportunity to surf into the beach. I want to share with you an opportunity where we believe the wind and the water are moving as we talk about who's retiring early that you need to know. Now, this is an unlikely retirement planning opportunity you probably haven't considered up to this point. And I want to open with a question. When you think retire early, who comes to mind? What demographic, not yet retired, and let's pretty much discount the baby boomers because at the time of this recording, it's January 2023, and we're just a few short years, 4 to 5 years out from all of the baby boomers being age 65 or older. So when you think about retiring early, who comes to mind? Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Z? Well, believe it or not, it might be a group you didn't expect. And as we're looking at the remaining groups not yet retired, you got the end of the boomers, that small group of boomer slash Xer kind of tweeners that are in between those two generations. You've got the Gen X, you've got the millennials, and you got Gen Z. So if we're thinking about this group, let's see if you can guess who it might be. Who's the demographic that's taking significant steps toward, number one, improving their overall financial well-being? They're embracing financial learning and the opportunity to improve their financial literacy. They were the group that spent the most time building their savings during the COVID pandemic. This was the most active group in seeking out and now working with a financial professional. And believe it or not, this group wants to achieve financial security so they can retire as early as age 59. Any idea who this demographic might be? Well, believe it or not, it's Generation Z. Now, you may not know who Generation Z is, so let me give you a little breakdown of who they are. Generation Z are the individuals currently age 18 to 25. These individuals joined the workforce just prior to COVID-19. So their view of the world and their view of life was immediately shaped by an early experience with financial insecurity. And because of that financial insecurity from seeing the literal shutdown of the U.S. economy for almost 2 years, for this demographic, it's become a wake-up call for them to be financially proactive so they can be financially independent. And they are focused on improving their financial well-being. One of the other things I can say about Generation Z, based upon the studies we've seen up to this point, this demographic is highly confident and they are values driven. Now, as we look at what's important to them, they're planning to save a lot and they're really going to need to save a lot of money. In fact, according to a recent Harris study poll that was ordered and conducted by Northwestern Mutual, here's what they found. Generation Z believes that they're going to need to accumulate at least $1.25 million to retire comfortably. That means they're going to have to start saving now, and they're going to have to start saving a lot and to grow that wealth over time to get them to $1.25 million by the time they get ready to retire at age 59. That's a very short window of 25 to 30 years to create substantial wealth, thus substantial opportunity. Now, this 1.25 million number is up about 20% from 2021, when the go-to number to retire comfortably was $1 million. Now, Gen Z themselves believe they're likely to live to the age of 100, maybe a few years longer. But a number of longevity studies indicate that the millennials and the Gen Xers have a significant likelihood of living to at least the age of 120. So if you think about the fact that they're in their late teens, early 20s, and they want to retire by the time they get to 60, and they're going to live to 100, 120 years of age, that's a 40-plus year retirement. That means they've got a very short window, 30 to 40 years, to accumulate $1.25 million that they're going to need to create sustainable income for the next 40 years of their life that they're spending in the retirement they plan. Now, their visions, their goals and aspirations may change over time, but this is their mindset right now. And if you want to work with this group, you want to work with this demographic, you've got to understand their thought process. You also need to understand that this is probably the most mentally fragile of all of the demographics we've got an opportunity to work with. Remember, they're 18 to 25. So during COVID, when the pandemic hit, they were still mentally and emotionally developing. The lockdowns created a significant amount of depression and anxiety that this particular demographic is still dealing with. Many of these individuals, 18 to 25, they're still mentally and emotionally developing. The decision-making part of our brains, the prefrontal cortex, is not fully developed until around age 25, based upon neuroscience studies that we follow today. And the rational brain that makes those complex decisions and sees the big picture isn't fully developed in most individuals until around the age of 30. And when asked in a recent poll, 44% of Gen Zers report their mental health status as weak or very weak. Now, compare this to 26% of all US adults, and you can see why I say this group is mentally fragile. So as you're working with them, understand they're still developing, they're still getting their minds around their emotions, and they're working through anxiety and other issues that have carried over from the pandemic. But here's some important news that you need to understand about Gen Z. They've got a lot of time. 18 to 25 years of age, they're just getting started, and they're very early into the entry into their career path. Their money habits haven't been yet fully developed and ingrained. As a result of that, they are eager and open to learn good money habits and to become financially secure. The pandemic was a wake-up call for them to understand they need to know how money works and how to make money work for them if they want to achieve their goal and an objective of accumulating enough wealth that they can retire early and pursue the causes that they care about. Many of these individuals in Gen Z, they've already experienced a financial loss. They lost a job. They saw a reduction in income or no income whatsoever. They don't want a repeat of that. They want to be financially secure. They want to be financially independent. And because they're 18 to 25, compound interest, the opportunity to create substantial wealth over time. This eighth wonder of the world, compound interest, remains one of their greatest allies. And when they understand the power of compound interest and how they can create substantial wealth over time, they're gravitating to that. So here's what this group, Gen Zers are actually saying at the moment. 70% of Gen Zs built their savings during retirement when they got money from the government. What money they received in those surplus checks, they didn't spend it, they saved it. Now compare that to 50% of Gen Xers who are not building their savings during retirement. 29% of Gen Z are seeking to work with an advisor. That's roughly 1 in 3. Now compare that to 7% of boomers who are working with or actively seeking to work with a financial advisor. There's a significant opportunity in this demographic and any demographic other than the boomers, but we're seeing it substantially so with Gen Z. 74% of Gen Z acknowledge they need to improve the quality of their financial planning. The steps they're taking and the process they're following to create, accumulate, grow, and manage well, they acknowledge they need some help. That's why they're open to financial education, to learn what they need to know to make important financial decisions that are going to serve in their best interest over time. Now compare that to only 64% of Gen Xers, the kids of the baby boomers who will be the next generation to retire, still struggling financially, but many of them, a little over half, are acknowledging that they need to be working on improving the quality of their financial planning. Interestingly enough, only 55%, just a little over half of Gen Z believe Social Security is going to be there for them. And of those that believe it's going to be there, they believe the benefits are likely going to have to be reduced. Now compare that to 43% of Gen Xers who believe Social Security is going to be there and is going to be a mainstay for their retirement. Gen Z is planning as if Social Security is not going to be there. And if it is still there in some form, then that just becomes additional dollars that are available to them. But one of the things you need to understand about Gen Z, if you want to tap into this market, and it's going to be a very lucrative market to move into, personal fulfillment is more important to them than money. Now, I want you to hear me there again. Personal fulfillment is more important than money. In fact, 2/3 of Gen Z surveyed said personal fulfillment was more important and was the most important thing to them, where only 1/3 said money. 2/3 personal fulfillment is the most important thing. Only 1/3 said money was important. Now, for Gen Z, money is important for one reason. It is a tool for them to fund what fulfills them. So here's the question. How do we help Gen Z? If you want to transition into this marketplace, what are the things they need right now based upon the information we have, the information they're sharing with us in surveys they're responding to? What is it they need from the financial planning community? Well, first off, they need a structured savings plan. They've got many competing priorities in their lives. They want to plan for retirement. Many of them are taking on college debt or have graduated college with debt, and they need to figure out how to make that debt go away so they pay less in interest and have that money that they would have paid in interest go to work for them. They've got other savings goals. Maybe it's a new home, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's a cause that they want to contribute to on a regular basis. They've got multiple savings goals, and they need a structured plan that's going to allow them to direct the money where it needs to go in the specific amounts to get the accomplishment and the fulfillment they want out of life. To do that, they need a budget. They need to understand and have a process, a system, and a plan so they can balance their spending with their saving to make sure that they're still enjoying life as they want to live it right now, but they're also setting money aside for future spending needs. They need to understand about saving. They need to understand how insurance and investing works. Again, they're financially illiterate because they haven't been educated. Our education system fails our children generation after generation by not teaching these important things. And these are topics they want to learn about. How do they save money? How does insurance work? How does investing work? How do I buy a home? How do I buy a car? How do I plan for X, Y, or Z? These are questions they're asking. And so they are very open to financial education and improving their financial literacy. Now, again, when you're going to work with this group, because they are fulfillment focused, they're cause focused, and they want their money to align with their values and what's important to them, as you're engaging with Gen Z and you're having the money conversation, you've got to link the money to a cause that they care about. It might be saving the humpback whale. It might be protecting some small creature in a remote jungle in Borneo. It might be some other issue, the climate or something else that they care about. But linking money to a cause is going to get them to lean in and pay attention, because it's not just about them, it's about the causes that they care about. Now, because they're going to be living a long time, and compound interest is their ally, here's some things you also need to remember. They're going to be spending a significant amount of time, 30 to 40 years, accumulating wealth. And during that time, because of the exorbitant spending our nation, both Democrats and Republicans have been engaging in for generations, we now have some of the highest debt loads that we've ever seen in our country. And as a result of that, to reduce this deficit, long-term tax rates are going to have to go up. That means because these individuals are going to be saving and they're going to be retiring at a point in the future when tax rates are likely to be higher and potentially significantly higher, it's important to remind them in the education process that a traditional 401k, a traditional IRA, or other traditional retirement assets such as a SEP or a Simple, those retirement accounts are fully taxable when they retire. Yes, they get a small tax deduction each year they make a contribution and they save a little money, but when they actually do the math, they're going to pay a significant multiple, many times more than the entire tax savings they experienced over 30 to 40 years of working in just 2, 3, 4, 5 years of retirement. This demographic understands they want to have more and they need to have more. And one of the ways they can do that is to be willing to pay the taxes now to create more tax-free income opportunities in the future. So this generation is going to have an appeal, and likely a greater appeal, to tax-free solutions such as a Roth IRA, or using life insurance as a vehicle to fund retirement using an infinite banking, bank on yourself, be the great banker, whatever you want to call the concept. Using life insurance as a tool to create tax-favored wealth is going to apply to them, as well as Roth strategies and other marketing opportunities that may appeal as new products and services come to the foray in the future. But again, education is going to be key to engaging with this demographic, speaking their language about the causes they care about, and helping them gain the knowledge they need to make informed financial decisions is important, because they're going to need to grow money for a long, long time. So you may be saying, John, how do I get to these Gen Zers? They're working, they're employed either as an entrepreneur or they're working in a business. How do I get to them? Well, this is where becoming a financial wellness coach can be a unique opportunity for you to engage with Gen Z, but also to engage with millennials and Gen Xers and the boomers that are still in the workplace. You can have an opportunity to elevate financial literacy in a workplace environment by meeting with employers and offering to provide to their employees, free of charge, a once-a-month lunch and learn workshop hosted by the employer for the benefit of his or her employees. What we found is when employers do this, it reduces stress in the workplace. It increases productivity in the workplace. It increases profitability and it reduces turnover. There are significant advantages to an employer to allowing you to come in as a financial wellness coach to offer financial education. And if that employer has a 401k or other ERISA qualified plan, they have a 404c ERISA obligation to provide ongoing financial wellness education to their employees as part of their fiduciary duty as the plan sponsor. Again, many employers don't realize that if they have an ERISA qualified plan, such as a 401k, they have an ERISA 404c obligation as the plan sponsor, as a fiduciary, to be able to offer ongoing financial education so that it can absolve them of any liability in the event their employees lose money as a result of investing in their plan. When they meet that 404c educational requirement, it now allows them to be exempt from litigation. That's a powerful tool that you can use to your advantage. So hang on to that and use that as a means to go in and have a conversation. We can share information with you on that it's going to remove that liability that they're providing this education. That becomes an insulator to that business. So financial wellness, what does it look like? If you need messaging content to get in front of Gen Z, millennials, and Gen Xers, we've got it here at Vision Advisors. Insurance 101, an overview. Investing 101, an overview. What did we say that this Gen Z generation wanted to learn about? Insurance and investing. We've got 2 workshops that give them an overview of how these financial instruments work, how to protect your financial future. High school's over. What's next? How to plan for and fund education for yourself or children that may be coming in the future. These Gen Zers have yet to start a family in many scenarios, but they'd like to down the road. We want to be able to educate them on what they need to know financially before they start a family. We've got a workshop on that. As they're thinking about what they want to do 30 or 40 years from now, we can begin to educate them now on what it looks like to actually walk into retirement. We can share with them the 4 roadblocks to success, how to create and manage wealth, how to maximize retirement income, how to create that tax-free retirement so they pay less in taxes and keep more of what they've earned, the importance of financial planning and giving them a 101 of how to be a good financial planner, and helping them understand how Social Security works so they maximize their opportunity with Social Security. Need more educational content? How about buying your dream home? How about creating a paycheck protection plan in the event you get sick or injured and can't work? You've still got to pay your bills, but no income. How about conquering debt and having a systematic plan to get yourself out of debt? These are but many of the workshops we've got, and we're constantly adding to this portfolio of products. So you've got an opportunity to get into this workplace environment and engage with employees right where they are. And it also gets you in the good graces of the employer, excuse me, and creates an opportunity for you to work with them as well. Now, in addition to all the messages that we've shared and others that we have available, we've got social media images that you can use to engage with Gen Z, millennials, Gen Xers, and others. Email templates, landing pages, white papers, checklists, worksheets. We've got a digital marketing platform with content preloaded we can make available to you free of charge. Pre-recorded webinars if you need them, a customizable magazine that you can send to your A-list clients that allows you to stay in front of them and share your insights every time this magazine is published, your pictures on it, your call to action is on the inside cover with a letter you've written, and an advertisement about your business is in the back of this magazine. That's but a few of the tools that we bring to bear here at Vision Advisors. Now we're talking Gen Z. When you're thinking about who's retiring early, this is a new market, it's a new opportunity, and we've created a number of tools to not only help you tap into this market, but to tap into Gen X and millennials who also want and need financial planning and financial security for the rest of their lives. If you've got a question, you need more information, or you want to plug in and engage with us either for the first time or at a deeper level, give us a call, 1-800-505-8489. Again, 1-800-505-8489. Press 0 at the voice prompt to be connected with one of our business consultants, or you can visit our website, visionadvisorsinc.com. At the bottom of the homepage, you'll find a link to the calendar of all of our business consultants. You can block a 30-minute strategy call free of charge, no cost, no obligation, to talk about your business, ask questions, and learn what we can do for you before you make that commitment. Now, if you're already working with Vision Advisors and you want to learn more about what we do, use those strategy calls for us to dig deeper into your business and identify areas you're overlooking or ignoring that could help you grow and take your practice to the next level. And by the way, while you're on our website, visionadvisorsinc.com, in the upper right-hand corner, please make sure you follow us and like us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We share conversation starters, sales ideas, industry updates, and regulatory information you need to know on our Facebook and LinkedIn channels all throughout the week. And on our YouTube channel, you're going to find over 200 training videos just like this one available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, no password required. Why do we do that? Because we believe when you see the quality of training, the quality of content, and the quality of the marketing resources we bring to bear, and the depth and knowledge of our information on how we help you be successful, you're going to want to work with Vision Advisors. We've got a vision for your success, and we'd love to share it with you. And we look forward to hearing from you so we can share that vision and take your vision along with ours and use that to grow your business, to create more opportunity, serve more clients, and make more money. I'm John Terry with Vision Advisors. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.